I'm Isaias Estrada. I'm from Nampa, Idaho. I've been playing since 2014, so 11 years as of now. I got 3rd place at this year's NAWCQ with Gem Knights. Probably just the tournament itself. I get to play, it's like very rare you get to play against like the best players from everywhere in the world. It's very rare. Seeing all the like different type of people that play the game, it's very cool. My ace monster would probably be, if I had to pick one, it'd probably be Dante, Traveler of the Burning Abyss. It has always been my favorite card. I haven't had a good Macaron, so I'll probably pick Crystron.
Dude, it's game 1, round 2.
Ooh, we see a 3 and a 5. So for now, red players win in the die rolls. So
Maliss is going first. Both players choosing to use the blue sleeves here. The players had the choice of using the blue or red sleeves, so it's all based on their personal preference.
Yep.
Yeah, Damien didn't get the memo. They should have made him re-sleeve, you know, say, sorry, you're on the red side. So
I'm going to have to disagree with you there, Tom. I'm not waiting for these players to re-sleeve every round.
You're going to have to put the red sleeves. At least he's got the red t-shirt, you know. So.
True. All right, Maliss going first. We saw what it could do in Master Duel, but we're going to see a normal summon of Maliss White Rabbit starting off this match.
And we see the effect Veiler coming up from Isaias.
Is it a sort of like you smell weakness situation? Because that White Rabbit is not the thing that you start with most of the time. I feel like if you have anything else to do, you'd probably rather start with that. No traps set.
Unless you're playing something like TB11, it's not as good as the other ones. And yeah, you're right, Tom. Effect Veiler shutting down Damien's turn here.
It's really interesting because I feel like it's a habit for Maliss players to be setting the card first, and then that might have thrown Isaias off from activating Effect Veiler, but he didn't set the card first, so I'm wondering what it is that he kept in his hand.
And then from Isaias here, Crystron Inclusion is an excellent start. It's really the key card to really get your Crystron strategy online. Going to add a Crystron monster from the deck to the hand.
Yeah, it is fantastic to start with. So usually in the Crystron deck, you maybe add the Sulfefnir or the Sulfador, and it looks like we have the Sulfefnir now. But if you summon Sulfador via its own effect, it's going to lock you out of things from the extra deck that aren't machines. And normally in Crystron, you're kind of used to it. It's kind of fine. But when you're adding in the canines, maybe you don't want to do that just yet. So we'll see what the plan is. Here we are summoning the Sulfefnir, destroying the inclusion because you have to destroy something when Sulfefnir is summoned by its own effect.
And you also get that bonus of the graveyard effect now being used from inclusion here by Isaias. You'll be able to banish it to special summon back a Crystron monster from the graveyard.
And here comes Sulfefnir sending, Sulfador sending 2 monsters from the deck. 2 cards even from the deck to the grave, and it feels like a card you have to negate because it's so powerful, but then if you do negate it, you know what's coming next. You know, there's 2 level 5s, could be an Infinity, could be a Ripper, could be anything.
Oh, but the Fualos is immediately met by an Ash Blossom.
Wow, that's unfortunate. And at the same time now means that Damiana has used a monster from the end, so this has suddenly turned quite grey, I'd say, for the Frenchman, and we do get to resolve this Ripper.
Yeah, you kind of get that free extra Izuna activation if you get the monster from the hand. I feel like a lot of players say, you know, if you activate your Fualos against a canine deck and then they ash it, it's just devastating.
This is a huge Dominus Impulse trying to stop the Jokul. This is going to prevent both of those level 5 monsters from being special summoned from the hand. No trap card in the graveyard, so they will remain in Isaiah's hand, though.
Yeah, what's there to do for Isaias? I'm looking at his hand thinking, you know, maybe the Sulfador can't make its way onto the field because it might have to destroy a Crystron card, or maybe I'm remembering that incorrectly, but he's used the Jokul now, so yeah, is that an attack?
Looks like Lupus is going to come down and
that's an interesting one. We have not normal summon yet, so yeah, we're just tribute summoning over the Lupus. That's not something you see every day.
Yeah, Damien down to 1 card in hand, so you have to tribute summon rather than normal summon, but you can just bring out this Izuna straight away. But once you've used the normal summon, it makes your Crystron line slightly weaker because you can no longer use the River Stormer and
Yeah.
Search Scrap Recycler, because you would have to normal summon the Scrap Recycler if you want to use it. So
And the big thing here for Isaias is that Damien used that Mulcharmy Fualos, and so all his Canine cards are online, so being able to tribute someone for that Jokel gave him access to Izuna, and now more monsters are on the field. Canines really are on the hunt from those monster effects being activated in the hand or graveyard.
I mean, we're just gonna push a lot of damage. We do have access to some interesting options in the extra deck. I do see a card that is not super popular overall. Chronomaly Vimana could be an option here on top of the extra deck. Let's see.
I'm a big fan of that card.
Yeah.
It kind of reminds me of like a rank 5, like Evolzar Logia kind of situation.
yeah, I mean, it does make a lot of sense, especially in the Crystron Canine deck, because it is a machine. So when you've played a card like the Sulfador that requires you to only summon machines, it gives you an option. But here we see a
Valon is just so good, especially in such a simplified game state. I mean, it's hard to get out of it, and we can even go into Zeus, and I do think that could be a right decision. I mean, not really a lot of end and graveyard interaction, and yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Wow, this is tough to break.
Especially with one card in hand drawing to 2. Gonna one shuffle the deck.
Yep.
See, maybe if I'm Damien, I'm drawing my card for my turn first, then seeing if there's even a reason to waste the time on shuffling the deck here. Because he's in a tough spot.
Fair enough.
But because you got to pay attention to that clock.
Yeah, I mean, it has been only 5 minutes, to be fair. So I mean,
if you start from the beginning, playing to save your time, it kind of adds up there in the end.
I totally agree. And yeah, already wasn't the most promising start. We need a miracle off the top. Can we pull this off from Damien, or are we just gonna pick the cards up? It seems like that's the latter. So game 1 goes to Isaias.
Yeah, really on the backs of that Effect Veiler shutting down the White Rabbit, which is really the only Maliss card that Damien had access to. And even still, a lot of players, a majority of them don't play TB11, so Maliss White Rabbit isn't a great starter for the deck to begin with, but not even able to access like MTP07 means he wasn't going to have that follow-up despite his interaction. So that Veiler was actually pretty key, because had he had access to the trap card, he would have been able to search for Dormouse and had the follow-up. I mean, he still would have had to deal with the Valon and the Zeus that was on the other side of the field, but maybe there would have been something there.
Yeah, really interesting. I'm amazed to see him like not set that it was a droplet in the end. Like sometimes you set that first, it can psych your opponent out of using a card like Effect Veiler or Infinite Impermanence. You know, just give them a little bit of doubt. I mean, maybe they would have ended exactly the same way, but still, it doesn't really seem like it costs much.
Maybe a bit of nerves, as mentioned. This is the first match that Damian actually plays today, so you know he's still maybe a bit rusty as compared to the other duelists who already had to face a tough game 1, and nerves might get into him, or I mean, probably we might have even seen that Effect Failures anyways, and then he wouldn't have changed a thing. But now he gets to go first again. We have seen with Yuna just how much the deck can do, so we are obviously gonna wish him best of luck to maybe draw, you know, a more promising opening.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, another key part of that game was the Fualos being met by the Ash Blossom, because that means he used the monster effect from the hand, but didn't yield any positive results from it, only negative, letting all those Canine monsters be able to activate their effects.
Yeah, that's gonna be a always key component of any, you know, duels involving Canine cards. It's always so rough to maneuver through them, and that's why, you know, the Yami deck is so well positioned against it, because engine by engine it just doesn't use, you know, effects in the end or graveyard.
Yeah, it definitely makes a lot of sense. Isaias drawing the Lupus, but knowing how to play on anyways. Heads up, being able to tribute summon. I think it's something you end up doing quite a lot between the Crystron and the K9 engine, because all of those level 5s, so you need to keep in mind that you can tribute summon when you need to, and it was really important there that he did.
Yep, they really synergize well together, which is why we see so many players looking at using this strategy. I mean, before Justice Hunter's release, I know everyone was looking at Vanquish Soul K9. Wasn't a lot of talk about the K9 Crystron deck, but now that the set is out, YCS Vancouver has been played, it is becoming one of the top decks to look at going into any tournament.
Let's see this opener from Damian. Doesn't seem like there is a Mulcharmy. This Purulia coming down.
And yeah, a slight upgrade to the
chassis.
Yeah, slight upgrade to the rabbit with the chassis cap. But we're going to be negating it anyway.
again, an interruption with that impermanence, shutting down the triple tactic cards. But we see a sign in mining, interesting inclusion in the deck. But oof, there is an Ash Blossom on it.
Damian Breeze, Isaiah has the answer for it every time he does anything. But a Link summon here from Chessy Cat's going to send it to the graveyard for potentially a Link Karibo.
Yeah, but then the question is, do we have the Marcher? Do we have a Bestial?
This is Link Disciple. This is unexpected, but Link Disciple plus a backup Adagnister. His plays are nowhere near finished despite those 2 interactions from Isaiah.
Yeah, Maliss, one of those decks that, I mean, we're seeing these hand traps and it was very effective in game 1, but I feel like it's quite known for just breezing past cards like Effect Veiler and Imperm, and maybe why these cards kind of fell out of popularity over the last year or so, but we're seeing them all come back now.
Wow, and a third interruption plus
a fourth?
Izuna? What is it going to be? Oof.
It is Azuna. 4 interactions from the hand here for Isaiah going second.
That's unbelievable. What a end. I mean, 3 different interruptions plus the Izuna. What a dream opener, honestly.
Yep, Izuna is going to let him send a K9 monster from the deck to the graveyard. Of course, it's going to be the K9 Lupus. Lupus can summon himself back from the graveyard. And now performing an Exceed summon that'll be untargetable as long as Lupus is there as a material.
Yeah, is it just going to be Valon? What are we going for?
Could be up be the Valon to put that backup Adagnister face down.
And that's going to be the case. We resolve putting it face down. Have we stopped Damian once again? What an end. Wow. I mean, playing really an insane amount of interruptions.
If I remember correctly, Isaiah was one of the he was the player who qualified using Gym Knights, actually, which is a deck that you can't use here at the World Championship since Battle of the Legends Monster Mayhem's not legal. But he's showing it's not the deck that got him there; it's himself, the player, as he is piloting this deck well. I mean, drawing those 4 interactions is absolutely incredible.
Yeah, and I think I had a peek at the last card in his hand. It looked like a Chaotic Elements to me, but was that a Sulfador off the top? So, going to be able to summon both a Sulfador and a Jokul. Jokul's so powerful in this deck, which is why players are more or less running 6 copies between Chaotic Elements and the 3 main deck copies of Jokul, just because those Crystron K9s, Crystron monsters are so powerful to get out from the hand.
Yeah, I mean, doesn't get much better than this. Let's be honest. And yeah, just look at this. Wow.
Damien still has that card face down.
Yeah.
A couple cards.
The droplet in the previous game.
Torrential Tribute. Let's.
Ooh, different Dimension Ground. Okay, it's something.
It does something for sure. It's a card. It's a Yu-Gi-Oh card.
It is. It's a trap card.
It's a Yu-Gi-Oh trap card, normal trap card.
It's not going to get the inclusion, though. The inclusion can still go to the graveyard because it is a spell and not a monster. And then we're still going to be staring down the Valon. I mean, what could you even draw if Isaiah just goes to his battle phase, cleans up the field? Like, at minimum, that's what you're going to be seeing. But, I mean, we could be seeing even more than that, possibly.
Yeah, I mean, we can just make the same field as in the previous game. And that was enough. We are now in top deck mode for Damian.
Yeah, we're going to see, like, maybe Zeus Valon again. Some follow-up for
I was about to say we didn't use the Jokul, so thankfully Isaias remembers last moment and before committing to the Exceed summon.
Yep, the Jokul's gonna add Izuna.
Yep. I mean, might as well. Only upside, we do not have 2 cards in hand. We can't normal summon those, K9s, I guess.
You gotta look at the silver lining.
Yeah, exactly, you know?
Alright, yep, so rank 5 is going to be coming down. Looks like he's looking at K9 Ripper.
Yeah, I mean, it could be just a Reaper Zeus angle once more, but let's see.
Do you think he runs Lantern? Because we didn't see it in the last game, but it feels like a card that most people would be running in their deck. So let's see if he searches one now.
Yeah.
Got to detach. And I think just maybe clarifying whether the card gets sent to the grave, but I don't think the card's not considered a monster while it is underneath an XYZ monster. It's just an XYZ material. It's a sort of formless void, not a monster, so it is not banished. It is just sent to the graveyard.
Well, it doesn't leave the field either, yep. And Lantern, as you're saying, instead of like Jokul summons from the hand, Lantern summons back from the graveyard.
And yeah, that's a big deal because this is so much damage. We have case for K9, maybe a one-off in deck. Not quite gonna be the case, it seems.
No case.
Or maybe we sided out the target and that's what's happening, so might get a warning for it, but I mean...
Not a big deal.
Yeah, not a big deal at all. Yeah, I think that's what's going on, as you can see. But yeah, we just move on to the battle phase, push a lot of damage, make that Zeus. We can even make another rank 5. I mean, this is a brutal turn from... yeah, what has been not much of a Crystron deck all around, just using them, you know, to access these K9s, but I mean, it works, so...
Yeah, I mean, you say not much, but like, because of the different dimension ground, yeah, obviously you can't use the Crystron cards, but that's forced Damien to have that card in his deck and set it and activating it. So having it, it's already done the work just by kind of being there, even if he didn't get to use it, because it kind of forced the card out of Damien, which has done relatively little to the K9 part of the deck. I'm wondering what even Damien could have in his mind to draw. I don't think he's running Elemental Hero Bubble Man.
That surely be a fun one, but not quite enough regardless. But ooh, we see some interesting inclusions here. Obviously, you have a lot of freedom with your extra deck when you're building this deck, and you can include some interesting one-offs. In this case, we will see this Infinitrack River Stormer.
Yeah, game just being paused for a second here. I don't think there's anything wrong with the materials. It just looks like River Stormer is 2 level 5s. Maybe Damien just wants a translation of the card, possibly.
It gets scrap recycler, right? Like, might as well just say scrap recycler. Like,
Detaching material. I think it does more things,
I mean,
but I don't know what they are.
In terms of this game, that's all we're really going to be using here for Isaiah. But it's good to always make a translation for a card if you do need it. If that is what we are, in fact, waiting on.
Get scrap recycler makes Zeus pretty good card.
Yeah, I know all my Earth Machine fans out there know this card all too well. It has been one of their key cards for many years for all those dedicated duelists.
Indeed.
But this is kind of more of what I expected. If like, I mean, Maliss is still a strong deck, but we saw like, you know, really showcasing a way to play Maliss. You need to find like some new ways to use it to really have it line up and match up against those powerful decks that were released out of Justice Hunters.
Yeah, I don't think we can fault the Maliss deck too much for this game when your opponent has, you know, the 4 interruptions followed by the, you know, the premium starter cards for their own deck. It's so difficult for any deck to beat that. But you have to say, like, maybe some other decks, you know, are slightly more efficient at playing into hand traps. Maybe the Yummy deck, for example, it's not going to be too fussed about cards like Effect Veiler. Whereas, I guess enough of them against Maliss is enough to do the job.
Yeah, and I mean, I guess Justice Hunter's card just, you know, wanted to show why they are strong after that round 1 rough match for the Yami deck, and Damien last to 1 card, just moments away most likely from picking up his deck, and I mean, solid effort, but you gotta feel bad a bit for him, and there goes the handshake. It's gonna be an impressive 2-0 score by Isaias. Dominating win, honestly, all around. Isaias just completely crushed it with his Crystron K9 deck. So I would say, without further ado, let's just hear it from the winner of round 2.
Thank you so much, Marcello. I'm here with Isaias. 2-0, how are you feeling?
I'm feeling pretty good.
That's good to hear. Why did you think Crystron K9 was the best deck for you to take to this tournament?
I just felt like it had, like, game 1, it had, like, the best end board of all the 5 decks.
Yep.
And I just really wanted to, like, play a really strong combo deck for the event. And, like, I didn't want to play Maliss because it felt, like, inconsistent to me. So, in, like, Vanguard Soul, I just didn't like how, like, you had to, like, line up your attributes right. So, it was, like, Crystron was, like, and I also had been playing it for a little bit. And, like, going second, it has a lot of room for non-engine, obviously. Like, my second game, I did, like, 4 hand chops on him, and it was, like, just couldn't play through it. And that's why I think this deck's really good.
You mentioned 5 decks. What were the 5 decks that were on your radar, and how were you seeing it across the field today?
So the 5 decks are the 3 JUSH decks. It's Vanquish Soul, K9, Draco Tail, Yummy, Crystron K9, and Maliss.
Yep.
Those are the 5 decks. And so far, I've seen almost everything. The only deck I haven't seen yet is Draco Tail. So I'm wondering if there's actually someone here with it.
So what did you play in round 1?
Played against Yummy spell card, like board breakers cards.
All right. So we're going into your matches. Your round 1. He summoned Rabbit, you veiled it, and he didn't have a whole lot. What was your thought process going into that game? Were you really confident that you had?
That's it. After he passed Veiler, I was feeling like my hopes went up. I perked up a lot. I was like, I was like, oh, because that game 1 I only had that Veiler. I was like, so if it didn't stop him, I actually probably just lost on the spot.
Yeah.
But he had no extenders. He had like Droplet, Impulse, but it just wasn't enough to like secure him the game.
Right.
Or get him back next turn. So.
And then game 2, you had Imperm for the Chessie Cat, you had Ash Blossom for the Sign and Mining, you had Veiler for the backup.
That was a lot.
And then you held on to Azuna. Tell us what was going through your head. Were you like, wow, this is my day?
Yeah, it was my day and then I had Chaotic Elements, so I could like send a thing, and if I didn't draw a level 5, I could Chaotic Elements for Lantern, and then still play anyway. Like I just had like the stones, but it didn't matter because my drop turn was Sulfador, so I Jokul Sulfador on top of my 4 hand traps. I'm like, okay, like he had different dimension ground, but when monsters are exchange materials under different dimension ground, they still go to the graveyard.
Yeah, we did see that. Yeah.
So I got to still play. So it was so he couldn't really do much to come back. Like you can't come back from that scenario.
Yeah, let's look at some of the clips from game 2. So the first one we've got, that's like what we said. There you had.
That's the 3 graveyard.
You got your Imperm, your Ash, your Veiler, and you just knew, right?
It was like Valon, book it.
And what was your So were you always going for the Valon? Was there any?
Yeah. I thought about making like, because I knew his next play was probably just Splash Mage. I thought making like Vimana or something, but Valon just felt like the easiest one to do.
Yep. All right, and we'll go to the second clip. If it comes up.
Second clip.
But it's essentially when you go for the Jokul. Chaotic Elements. You go for the Jokul play, and is this the point where you are considering pushing for game? Like, what is your line of thought now?
I knew I could go for game because originally in my head I was like, what if I should go Battle Phase, make Zeus, and like send everything? But I just like no, I can kill him. But then like he flipped Dimension Ground, and it was I just couldn't do it anymore.
Yeah. And so obviously with this game, you got incredibly lucky, and not to discount your skill.
That game, my hand was really good game too, because he had a lot of extent. He had the backup. He had Chessie. Then Chessie back. He had Sign and Mining as well, and I just had the answer for like every play he had. So it was just really unfortunate for him.
Yeah, and I guess some open dialogue. What are your thoughts on luck versus skill in this matchup? Obviously, like you know that. You need both to be successful, but what's your approach at mitigating luck in a tournament?
It really, I think the biggest thing for like that is the side deck, because like most of the time you'll play like 2 out of 3 games sided. So like my side deck is a lot more hand traps. So like post side, I don't lose these type of decks.
Yep.
Because like you have to have so many, and like my main deck is like a bunch of hand traps. Like it's so many.
Yep.
It's like 18, I think, but like I don't know, it's something high like that. And post side, it's more. So it's like. Try to mitigate those decks.
Yeah.
It's really hard to like balance it with engine. Like it's really hard to like make sure you don't like just draw only hand traps.
Absolutely. And who are you most afraid of in this tournament, and what is your strategy to beat them?
Oh, unfortunately I only know a couple of the players and what they're like playing. But if I had to pick vaguely, probably one of the Lunalight players. There's a couple more. There's more than one. I know that I saw 2 or 3, and those are the people I'm really afraid of, because like. It's a deck not on my radar. I didn't like pick any cards for it. So it's like if they get to like the Liger, I probably just pick up my cards. Like it's real. I don't think I can out that card.
Oh yeah, right. And why wasn't it on your radar?
I just didn't like decks like that where like it's really like the one trick. Like you put out your Liger.
Yeah.
Like, if you're playing someone that has an out to that, they play that out. It's like your game plan shifts so like significantly.
Right.
Like. You get cherries on Liger, like what do you do with your cards?
Cherries. You mentioned that. Why did you bring out Ghost Cherries specifically?
It's something a lot of people are considering for Yummy. It's like everyone is. It's a card. I think it's a card everyone should be prepared for at this point.
Yeah. Cool.
Especially like in such a small environment when you know like the five, like there's gonna be these decks. I think it's pretty easy to say like this is probably a good card.
Oh, this is Isaiah's giving away a bit of his secrets already. We're only round 2. We've got 5 more rounds. What's your mental game for the rest of the day like?
One game at a time.
One game at a time. I like that. All right, cool. Thank you so much for speaking with me. I do wish you luck in the rest of the rounds.
Thank you.
All right, no worries. We're going to take a short break, and then we will be back with round 3 shortly.
All right.